Hey guys, welcome back. All right, so you can see here, first thing, I have a new microphone and it's pretty windy right now, so hopefully it's working well. But I have this 2017 Porsche Macan GTS behind me. And I've never driven a Porsche Macan. And I've always assumed that they drove similar to an Audi SQ5. I've driven an Audi SQ5 before. It's like it's snowing. Huh. I'm in North Carolina and it's snowing, which doesn't happen very often. But I've always liked to drive similar. And after driving both of them and feeling them out, they drive different. So if you're cross shopping between an SQ5 and the Macan, you feel like they may be similar. If you're looking for the best sporty drive, the Macan definitely takes it. I mean, the transmission performs better. The handling is better. It's like it sticks to the road better. I mean, and there's tons of options you can get. If you're looking for more simplicity, definitely get the SQ5. I mean, it's just you can get a few packages and go from there. With the GTS models, you're going to get air suspension, which I think obviously helps with the ride and the dampers. You get a more powerful engine. And these Porsche Macans, they come in a lot of different trim levels. I think beginning with this year, 2017, is when he added the 4-cylinder turbo. So the base model, you're gonna 4-cylinder turbo, and then you can go to the S, which is the V6, and then you go to the GTS, and then there's the Macan turbo, and they're all pretty much the same engine minus the 4-cylinder base. It's just each level you go up, you get more and more power. This one has a few options, and like I said, there's so many options on these things that you can make these things as budget friendly as you could say as you want. As far as you keep the price kind of close to maybe just add maybe the premium package and kind of go from there, or you can option these Macans up to, I mean, if they say this GTS starts off at like $69,000, $70,000, you can leave at the door with like $80,000, or you can walk out the door with $120,000. I mean, that's how crazy these options go. And the thing is about these Porsches, and I say it about BMWs, but these are more customizable, is that there aren't two Porsches alike. And I know because I've been looking. I've been looking for Porsches for a while, and you find the one you want, and I let it go. I hesitated, it's gone. It took me 2 years, and I finally gave up, and I decided to move on and just get a BMW X5. There's different wheel packages you can get with this. This one has a 20-inch wheels. You get, even on the side of the door, you have the GTS and the carbon fiber, like door panel blade or whatever. You can see that here. You have the LED lights around the daytime lights. They got the LED headlight, they swivel, and they got the LED daytime light. Now I drove this car at nighttime. The first one I drove was nighttime, and I was taking it through some speeded driving and some curves. And I've never seen adaptive headlights. And it's not my first car driven with adaptive headlights, but I've never seen adaptive headlights are so active. I mean, I go in the curve, and those lights are literally pointing around the curve. It's amazing. They're very noticeable. You can see them noticeably moving around the turns. Let's walk around. And I don't know if you can see the windshield. This has the double insulated like glass. So the glass is thicker, is more insulated than normal, and it's got the solar. It's got very good tint in here too, even through the windshield. With the GTS, you're gonna get the black exhaust tips as well. And even if you say that you want to get an S, or you're trying to customize, you can also get an S and kind of add even some of the same features. If you're trying to keep the price, kind of like certain, you can add air suspension to an S. You can add certain wheels to the S. Obviously, with the GTS, you're gonna get bigger brakes. So the S gets bigger brakes than the base. The GTS gets bigger brakes than the S, and then the turbo, it just keeps going up. And like I said, the options are just, it's a whole, I can imagine people trying to buy one of these new. I imagine just trying to build a house new, because there's so many different customizations. When you build a house, typically you're picking your flooring, your carpet, your walls, and then you're trying to choose your grout color and everything else. This is the same thing. You can choose the wheels, you can choose the color, you can choose the interior, you can choose your gauge color. You can pick if you want a sunroof or you want a panoramic sunroof. So many different options. You know, I like Teslas. I like their cars. Or, you know, for me, I always see a white Model 3 at a stoplight. And it'll be a common, it's been happened a few times to me before in California where I've seen 2 or 3 Model 3s at the same stoplight. White Model 3s, I don't know why, but they seem to be the most common thing I see on the road. So let's take a look in the inside. Let's do a quick walk around. And the Macans, they had these steep sloping rear glass here. It really gives that Porsche look. You know, it's a very characteristic Porsche look here. Got the red brake calipers, and I believe the red calipers are exclusive to the GTS and trim levels and up. So this is the Porsche key. Looks like a Porsche. Has a Porsche characteristic, and you have your lock, unlock, your hatch button. It's a power hatch. And you can see here on this hatch, if I hit it, press and hold it. And I think it closes. Can I close it? No, you don't want to close, huh? All right. It gives me a warning, at least. So that key, leave it in my pocket. Obviously, I can just go ahead and touch this little sensor here. Get a soft tone, the lights blink, the car's locked. Reaching behind the door handle, unlocks the door. And this is the same on the rear doors as well. Give it a second. There we go. Got the Macan GTS door seal. It's got the leather here on the doors as well. It's got the this one has a carbon fiber package. You can get, there's a lot of different trim packages you can get here, but this one has a carbon fiber look. It's got memory seats on both sides, driver and passenger memory seat. This one's also finished off in the leather on the dashboard, just with the red contrast stitching, like the leather wrap steering wheel. It's got the aluminum trim around here. Also, you're going to see the GTS embroidered on all the headrests. So each one is going to have the GTS in the headrests. You do have a tall cup holder as well as here. And you have the option to have, so you can see this GTS here. And one thing about the Macans with the GTS, you get the smoked tail lights automatically standard. And they're a little bit darker than normal. The gauges, the badges here are black, and with the Porsche, I think if anyone you can order brand new, you can choose how you want it configured. If you just want to say Porsche, just Porsche only, you can do that. If you just want to say just Macan GTS, you can do that only. Or if you just want to say GTS, any way you mismatch, or you can just do it all. You like this owner just have the Porsche Macan GTS. So it's amazing that there's so many levels of customization you can do. On the dashboard, you got red contrast stitching, and coming over on the steering wheel, you got your Porsche logo. You got the chrome bezel here. You have a heated steering wheel button hidden behind here, and you have nice feeling aluminum paddle shifters. Like I said, this is a PDK transmission, so it, you know, you get that true paddle that you're going to receive in the 911s. Here, phone, Bluetooth buttons here, volume controls. This is how you control different things. You know, you can see here you got your phone connection, your radio, you got your gauges, so you have your water, your oil temperature, your oil pressure, as well as the compass. You can see your sport chrono. So if you have the sport chrono package, it gives you a stopwatch. So by activating this, you'll see the stopwatch here as well as on the clock. So I'm going to activate it right now, start, and you'll see the clock spin too. There you go. Now it's a stopwatch. And it counts down as well as here. And all I do is stop it. And you see it stops. And then reset. And then it turns. This will eventually recalibrate itself back to a clock. Let's see. Ready. This is your trip computer. Tire pressure. So you see your tire pressure. torque split. So when you're driving, you'll see the torque being shifted to the rear. So this is a performance SUV. So it's going to be primarily rear-wheel drive biased. It's going to shift like nearly 100% of the power most of the time to the rear wheels, which is only maybe 10-20% going to the front wheels occasionally. Only during certain, driving characteristics or behaviors or wheel slip is when the car can shift torque to the front axle to provide that instant traction. A lot of times it does it so instantaneous. As a driver, you won't even know it's happening, or you won't even know that there was any loss of grip. Also, you have the option to put the nav screen here as well. See, I covered the wipers already. These are rain sensing wipers. Just have the cold water package, so it does have the headlight washers as well. Moving over to the main screen, this is the Porsche PCM, which is their Porsche, stands for Porsche Communications Management. This is where your infotainment screen is. This is where you're going to see all of your details. So, going through here, you're going to look through, you get your tuner for your radio, you can change your source, your phone. There's no phone connected. There's media. There's also Apple CarPlay in this car, standard. You have your map, you can look at that. You can look at through various car settings. You can turn on, there's different, options in here. Coming down to here to the center stack, which looks like a cockpit from an airplane, to be honest with you. You have your hazard button. You have your hill descent control. Your defrosters. This is your height dual zone. Actually, it's the 3-zone climate control. So this is how typically, you'll change your climate, your temperatures up here. Clicking these switches. And then you have your auto and rest. So your rest buttons, when you turn the car off, you can turn the car completely off, and it's like you're sitting somewhere and you want to provide some residual heat. Pressing this button what would then turn on the fan with the engine off to provide blow the residual heat out for a few minutes. This car does have the heated and ventilated seats. So like I said, sometimes depending on the tier trim, you cannot get ventilated seats, or sometimes people just don't option it. Sport setting, your Sport Plus. Sport Plus is only available if you get the Sport Chrono package. So if you don't get Sport Chrono, this is just a blank space here. You have your suspension settings. You have different settings for you have a comfort. You have hitting it once, puts in the Sport, and then puts in again, puts in Sport Plus. It only changes the ride dampers. It also changes the height as well. This is if you just want to activate the low level, you can do that separately. This is your traction control. This is a start stop. This is your exhaust button. So if you just want to drive in the loud exhaust all the time, or if you want to be quiet mode, if you live in the neighborhood, you try to be quiet, you hit that. It turns off one of the valves, so that way the car's a bit quieter. Lane departure warning. Off-road mode raises the vehicle up higher. So when you activate off-road, the vehicle is going to raise. It's going to raise up to its, I want to say additional couple inches. Don't quote me on this one, but it raises up a certain height to maybe climb over obstacles. If you're stuck in some snow, you just need that extra inch or two to clear, something so you don't heist into your car, because this brake have 12-volt outlet, have 2 cup holders here. Going through here, you have 12-volt power outlet, USB port, and another auxiliary outlet, which then so you have armrest here, which is a place to rest your arm. Glove box is nicely damped. This soft lined felt feels good. There's a Bose audio system in here. There's 3 different sound systems. There's a bass sound system. I think it comes with a bass Porsche. Then there's a Bose, which I listened to it. It sounds pretty comparable to the Harman Kardon and BMWs. It's clear. It doesn't sound dull. This is a good sound system. I will be okay to live with this. There's also a high-end Burmeister sound system. I haven't listened to that. I think I've only heard it in a Mercedes, which does sound good. But like I said, in this Porsche, I think especially with the smaller cabin, I think the Bose suits this car just fine. Moving on top, there's the auto-dimming rearview mirror. Also, the side view mirrors dim as well as the rearview mirror. So whatever this mirror dims, these mirrors are going to mirror that as well. There's LED reading lights. You have your home link, and you have a sunroof. See, you got dual vanity, LED light, got both sides. Sunroof, you have your power shade, and press one touch, opens up. You can stop it anywhere you want it. You know, if I just want to have just a little bit of sun here, I can do that. Pressing it twice gets in here. Or I can say, you know what, I just want half the sunroof open. You know, the back passengers, I want to keep them shaded. You can do all that as well. You can tilt the sunroof, or you can slide it all the way back, and then pressing again also opens the sunroof and it slides completely back. Also, this car does have an available adaptive cruise control. This one does not have adaptive, but it is available. Use it with that, and it includes some type of forward collision warning. And if I switch this on, steering wheel moves down to you, and said seats are very supportive. Steering wheels tilt and telescopes. The driving position in these is just, I mean, especially being in that Camaro, is just like I can see the road, I can see the corners. I feel like I'm in this little tiny little sport wagon in a way, because it just handles me so well, and it's just so fun to drive. I can see why people like Porsche. If you like handling, if you like BMW, I can see why people like Porsches. I mean, I think my next car may be a Porsche, just because I love this setup so well. So back seat's a little tight. Not as tight as you'd think it would be. I would think it'd be on the same level with maybe the Q5, but I'm sitting behind my seat position. I'm 5'8", and I have a good amount of leg room. I could easily tolerate a road trip in this thing. There isn't any setting for these seats to recline. They do have handles. Every position has handles here. I do have a place to adjust the temperature. So this is a 3-zone climate control. I have heated rear seats back here, and I have 2 USB ports, which is nice for charging your devices. You get the armrests with 2 cup holder positions here. I mean, I guess if you have, you can still place your arm and have a cup holder. And these seats also fold down. Also move across the back doors, more leather, more carbon fiber. So turn the car on. The key needs to be in the car, and you switch on little knob here, and just turn that, put it on the brake, and this car just throaty, just boom, comes to life. I'm gonna show you an exterior clip here in a minute. So trunk, we have basically split fold down rear seat and a spare tire. It's like an inflatable spare tire, and it's red so that way they know that you need to kind of call you out. Look, this guy got a spare tire on. And then there's a Bose subwoofer here, and then another 12-volt power outlet. This once, shut it, or you can lock it to, like, this is the last thing you grab out of the car. You just hit this one time, and it'll lock the car at the same time. Okay, so just like the Audi Q7, the Porsche Macan GTS with the air suspension also has the button in the rear to lower the rear for easier access. So if you lower something heavy, basically it's causing the car to kneel. Alright, so now I'm going to show the riding height for the air suspension. So right now I'm going to Sport Plus, and you can barely see it, but the car does drop a little bit. And the next mode will be normal. You see the front goes up first, then the rear and follows. This is like normal. And the final mode, which can only be used when you're above 55 miles an hour, below 55 miles an hour, is off-road mode. It takes it to its max height. Now, if you exceed 55 miles an hour, it's going to drop the suspension automatically to normal mode until your speed drops to a stop. And at that point, it would then raise the vehicle height up. One thing about this hood I noticed is the hood is cut out around the headlight. Instead of them making the hood go around the headlight, they just surround the whole light itself. It's a weird, kind of funny, funky opening here. power comes from a 3-liter V6, and with this engine, a GTS is a little bit more than what you'll find on the S. This is a slight power bump, so you're at 360 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque, and that torque peaks out just above 1600 RPM. So getting that torque at that low RPM, it makes that drive, just makes the car a little bit more tossable in day-to-day use. Obviously, this if you ordered the S model, the S, you're going to get a slightly lower power output. You're going to be at like 340 and 339 pound-feet of torque. The fuel mileage is 17 city and 23 on the highway, and this does take premium fuel only. But I imagine someone buying a Porsche isn't thinking about trying to save money on fuel. Do a couple launches, just flooring it, and then I'm gonna do a launch control. Sport Plus, manual, and it drops the air suspension. The transmission is now in the most aggressive setting, and I'm going to use the paddle shifters. I'm just going to try out this PDK. Okay. This thing's a little, makes a little sound, nice little sound out at the back. Wow, and these shifts, man, I thought it was shifting for me, but it's me doing it. It's like popping the shifts off literally as I'm pressing it down before I can release the paddle. That's how snappy these paddle shifters are. Wow. Curve. is how aggressive the Sport Plus is. It's constantly ready. It's constantly getting the gear ready when you're slowing down. Even I'm just driving casually back over here. First in this thing. I never had a car go to first. Even my M3 does not go to first when I'm coming almost to a stop. Just running regular drive mode now to see. It stays third gear the whole time. It's nice. Sport. Sport is definitely less aggressive. So as I slow down in the curves, it's not. It's staying in one gear higher and it's upshifting for me. So the other ones were like, Sport Plus was like constantly keeping me at a high RPM, making sure that no matter what I do, I'm going to be in the right gear at all times. So Sport Plus, I would think would be great for an autocross event or a track event. And Sport mode is, I would say, perfect for the street. Nice blend between. You still get that feel. The suspension is still tight enough where you don't get that roll on the corners. The transmission is still aggressive enough to choose the right gear coming out of the corner. So as I'm slowing down, it's not doing those throttle blips. Slowing down, it's just kind of more medium, which is not a bad thing, especially when you're on the street. You don't want to always be at like 4,000 or 5,000 RPMs. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for this video. If you like it, subscribe to me, give me a thumbs up, give me a comment, let me know what you think.